Do you remember a specific moment where you realized that you were like earning the players' respect?
I think when I started to show them the data that I was working on, and it kind of coincided with their thoughts on what was going wrong too.
Okay.
They realized like, yeah, we're sucking on those P2s, you know, or we are not doing well on this map, and this is probably the reason why. I think it started to happen like obviously first year, but I knew I had to gain the respect from them in the first place before I started giving those opinions or anything. And that's still true with any like newer player that I start working with. Yeah, just showing them what I could do and how I was doing it, because there's no way you can argue with the VOD, because you can see, you know, we're struggling with this, other teams are doing it this way, and they're not struggling with it. Right. And it's not because they're better than us. Like, it's not because, I mean, not all the times, but it's not because they're winning more gunfights than us, if that makes sense.
Right, yeah.
They're just being put in these situations that are so much better and so much easier to get those kills, you know?
Yeah. Who have been your your coaches to your analysts? Like,
so I was
with Revin,
and the last year I was with D-Real. It was his first year as well. But I always see the players as coaches to me as well too. Like Clay, Krim, obviously with Damon joining,
right,
and Ken. I see those as like people I really learned a lot from.
Yeah.
I would love to have seen what Damon was like as a player working with him.
Yeah.
That's what everyone asks me, is like, oh, who would I love to have coached? And I'm like, Damon, because I just want to see how he was as a player compared to like just being a coach. I honestly, Seth too, like, dude, a lot of just veteran experience goes a long way in terms of like obviously knowing what the fuck to do.
Yeah.
So just learning from that and learning different ways about it. Oh, Ray as well. Sorry, I completely forgot about Ray. Yeah. But Ray, I learned a lot from too, even though it was a short time. A lot of good minds, and again, super grateful for that, because that's just all building blocks for me. And every one of them, I think, was different in a specific way too. Obviously, everyone's different, but the way that Clay wanted to play was a little bit different the way that Krim wanted to play, which was a little bit different the way Ray and Revin wanted to play. You know what I'm saying? So there were a lot of building blocks, and just getting all the different aspects in my head was really cool, and just helped me tremendously, honestly.
So when Ray's working with Optic, and then he gets let go, is that the first time that you are a sole? You're the only coach?
Yeah, that was the first time.
How much honestly, how much pressure was on you then?
I mean, there was a lot of pressure, but I felt like I was still doing the same work that I was doing. Maybe a little bit more, obviously, because I was alone at that point. But I was always sticking to my guns with what I was going to be doing anyways. It was interesting, though, because it was just lone wolf at that point. And, you know, being in the dugouts alone was a little bit different.
After they lose a map, they look at you and you're like,
Yeah. No, I mean, it was really weird being alone, but I'm glad Damon ended up getting brought in as well, because I love how he thinks about the game as well.
Yeah.
I like to think about the game like how he does as well. Being alone, it actually did teach me a lot, just in terms of everything, because I couldn't rely on someone else to help me out with that stuff. And I think that's where learning emotional stuff and learning personal relationship stuff and trying to utilize that to as much of my ability helped a lot, because again, most of the job is that, and being alone, I had to kind of rely on a lot of that with the work that I was doing.
Do you ever play, have you ever played, or is it common to play good cop, bad cop with your coach?
I don't know. I mean, it happens.
It seems like Damon would be bad cop.
Damon would definitely be bad cop for sure. I'm a little bit more vibey, and I'll be on the nicer side for sure. But I mean, I will get mad sometimes. There are some times you could tell them, or you could ask them. There's some times where you could see that I'm pretty mad about something, because we talked about it a lot. But it doesn't happen as much. It will happen, or it will spark an outrage if it does happen, though.
That is so interesting. Well, do you remember the first time that you in between map 2 and 3, or it might even be map 1 and 2? I can't remember. I think, or you'll be able to tell me. Do you remember the first time you went on stage and put the headset on and talked to the team?
I think the first time I started doing it was Vanguard with New York. I was mainly just going out for the searches, because a lot of it would just be like, oh, here's tendencies and that the other team might have, and here's just kind of reassuring what we had in our playbook or whatever. Make sure you guys do this, make sure blah blah blah. Look out for this person here, all that type of stuff. From then on, it was weird, because we would always switch. At least with Damon, me and him always both talk right before the matches too, just what he wants to say and then what I want to say. Sometimes it's the same stuff, but it's important to keep relaying it to them, because sometimes they'll instantly forget it as soon as the match starts. Obviously, that's important. I think it would be cool to have something like timeouts in search if we had the ability to do that, so that we could help them adjust if we saw something. That's always the hardest part. Honestly, the stress of just being in the dugout and having your hands tied behind your back, you can't do anything while we just
watching it
hope
happen.
that everything we talked about just, actually translates into the match. It was common occurrence after that moment for me to go up every now and then.
Yeah.
And, since working with these guys, we'll both go up and say what we need to say.